Alright, hello. So I want to show you my library because I want to really encourage everyone who listens to my stuff, subscribes to my channel. You definitely want to have a personal library. Every Christian should be a student of the Word of God, and every student of the Word of God should be a reader. So this is my library. I'll give you a little bit of a panoramic view there. So start over here. I'm trying to get this this camera. So I got 1, 2, 3. There's a couch. There's a coffee table. Nice little cozy area. Over here I got some posters. Of course, you gotta have Star Wars. So shout out to my buddy Ross, who looks at my videos. Good friend of mine from school. Also, got to have a Steve McQueen poster in any library. Every man. This right here. This is a poster. Very dear friend of mine. He's with the Lord now. Van Moore. A huge inspiration in my life. I can't even begin to talk about how much of an influence he was to me. But he did chalk drawings. He would do sermons where he would do illustrations while he did those, and I've done a few of those myself. But I want to start with this bookshelf for you. So this is I guess I could call it my secular side of things. So I have a lot of secular books on this one, but a lot of these are books. I call them secular books, but for example, this one here, everybody should have this book in their library. This is The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. So when I say secular, I don't necessarily mean they are all that it has nothing to do with the Bible, but it's just not like a religious book. But these are mainly fiction, but I got some autobiographies, biographies in there. Some of them are fictional books that have a Christian meaning, like Paul, the John Bunyan. I almost said Paul Bunyan. The John Bunyan one, Pilgrim's Progress. Then you have another series here, the Kingdom series by Chuck Black. Excellent. I have in my own Christian walk have learned that even when I read for pleasure, a fiction book, it needs to have like a scriptural background or a scriptural allegory, or it needs to be clean. One or the other. There are some books here. I try to clean them out, but there are some in here like self-help books. Here's one that I was a big fan of, the Wild Wild West show. That was a good one. If you've ever read Greg Laurie, so going back to Steve McQueen, this was recommended to me by my pastor. This talks about his conversion. It goes into all that. So got a lot of good stuff here. Of course, my Tolkien stuff, got all that. Alright, so lower, looking down here, this is where I start my spiritual books. So you see the Slim Jim thing, starts there. I've got this alphabetized by author, a last name. So it starts with a great book, Every Man's Battle, and then it goes on. And then it comes over to this bookshelf right here. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. So these are all like spiritual books, like not fictional books, but these are, got a lot of D. Hahn here. Like for example, this book. This is M.R. D. Hahn, The Days of Noah. So I got it alphabetized by author because if it's not by topic, because that would take me eternity to figure that out, or try to organize it. So I got it by author. So that way, if I want to read something from Herbert Locke here, I just come over here in the L's and I pick it out. So when you start a library, when you start a collection of books, what you need to do is you need to have a system. However you want to set it up, but you need to have a system, because when you're studying, if you like to follow, for example, if you like to follow read from John Eldridge, you would come over to the E's, E, F, G, where's E at? Oh, there you go. You would find your John Eldridge here, Fathered by God. If you've never read Get Your Life Back, you need to get your life back, but before you get it back, you got to read that book. Love and War, I got some more stuff from him on Kindle as well. So with that being said, I'll show you this. So there's my beautiful desk. I love this desk. It's a Tanker desk I got. I redid it. Got a steel on that bad boy. And we turn the light on there. So this is my Kindle. And I got about 220 something books on this alone. And so I'm very strategic about how I buy my books. And I will tell you, you gotta have a system. You gotta have a way to do that, because some of these books will cost you a fortune if you go to like a Bible bookstore. And there's nothing wrong with Bible bookstores, but I'm warning you, you will pay a fortune for some of the stuff. You may go to a place here locally. We have a place called McKay's. It's the who's who of books, and they're starting to pop up more and more in other places. But that's where I go, and you can find a steal on some of these books that I like to read. Some of these guys I like to read after. But I'll tell you this: on Kindle, you can sometimes get an entire library from someone like D.L. Moody. You can find the entire works of D.L. Moody for like $3. I mean, come on. Okay, you can go to a Bible bookstore and pay $20 for one book. Do the math. So yeah. Anyway, just be strategic about how you buy your books. Be smart about how you buy your books. If someone gives you a book, always take it. If you read a book and you're not, before you just donate it somewhere, don't just do it for the money. Give it to someone if you feel. But anyway, this is my desk. This is where all the podcasting stuff happens. You see my microphone there. Get you a good picture. See my beautiful wife. Good picture of her. She's hottie, in my opinion. Alright, so this is the next bookshelf. It's like a mini bookshelf. This is where I keep. Just recently started. It's where I got my Pentateuch. The last two shelves are the Pentateuch. The first shelf, the top shelf there, that is like all my surveys and all my lexicons, your what do you call them, concordances, stuff like that. Got the Strong Concordance that everybody's got to have that in their library. Strong Concordance, The Way of Life Encyclopedia by David Cloud, that's a good one. Got some Through the Bible stuff, like Exploring the Book, or I'm sorry, that's not Exploring the Book, that's where we at here? Jensen's Survey of the Old Testament, right? It's a survey. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry. So these aren't like Bible commentaries per se, but these are like surveys. So a survey is where it pretty much tells you what the book of the Bible is, and it'll give you a survey. It'll tell you how many chapters, what the book's about. There's a huge benefit of that. Now, when you look at the bottom two shelves here, you can see the Pentateuch. So this shelf and then this shelf right here, the black one, that I have my bobbleheads and all that stuff on, my Carolina Tar Heels bottle and all that. So that shelf is the books of the Bible, and it's commentaries on the Bible, and it's not by author, it's by book. So if I'm studying for a sermon and I want to, I want to reference a Eldridge book, maybe I'm preaching a sermon on character, godly character, and I want to reference something from Wild at Heart. I just go straight to my Kindle because I know Wild at Heart is on there. If you don't have Wild at Heart, you need to. If I want to reference something from a Dehan book or from the life of Moses or something, and I know I got a book over there on it by a certain author, I make a beeline to that shelf and I have a system, okay? Well, if I'm preaching on the book of Joshua, okay, so what I'll do is I'll come over here, and I know this is where my historical section is by book, but I'll come over here and I got Wearsby Be Strong by Joshua. I don't have it by author, I have it by book. So Conflict and Conquest and Holiness by J.C. Massey. That's a book on Joshua. So I would go straight to that, and I know where it's at. It's a system, okay? That is huge, because here's what happens. When you start to accumulate books, over time you will find that you go to the same books over and over again, and you will start to accumulate so many books, you forget you have them. And you're doing a lesson, or you're teaching Sunday school, you're just studying for yourself, and before you know it, someone's like, hey, have you heard anything from... have you read anything from from Richard Linsky. He is phenomenal. And you go to the bookstore and you find St. Mark's Gospel commentary by Linsky, and you spend all this money on it. All the while, you've had it here the entire time. Okay, so that's why it's important to have some type of system. And what I'm doing right now too, I'm actually in the middle of documenting all the books I have. I'm making a spreadsheet. I'm putting the author. I'm putting the title, what it is. And another thing that I do here, this is a new shelf. Well, that's a poster. That's a beautiful poster, isn't it? It's my favorite movie. A beautiful, wonderful story of Rango. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch that movie. That's a good one. All right, that's what I said. Okay, so you look down here. This is my bookshelf of my Bible commentaries. So J. Vernon McGee is a good one. Wilmington's Guide to the Bible. If you are a young preacher, please listen to me. If you're a young preacher, Through the Bible with J. Vernon McGee, Wilmington's Guide to the Bible. Okay, that right there. Now, the Through the Bible, that's a series of 6 books. So that's a little pricey. You're going to have to invest in that. But it's a good investment. And J. Vernon was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man of God that did a great job with taking meat, bringing it down to a layman, to a simple message. And it really helps you. It takes the entire Bible, helps you understand it, especially if you're teaching, just give you an idea of the context. Now, Wilmington's Guide to the Bible, that is phenomenal because Wilmington actually, he quotes a lot of J. Vernon. I think he quotes like Ironside too. He references a lot of the guys that I really like. But Wilmington's Guide to the Bible, it's this green book. I've given this to younger preachers that I know. I've invested. It's like a book you can get for like $30. But this book right here, I tried showing it and I don't think it did good. But this book right here is phenomenal. Okay, it's if you're a young preacher, invest $30, $40, $50 and look into that. That's one you would want. Another one you would want would be David Cloud's Way of Life Encyclopedia. That's another good book. So what I do is, so when I'm studying for something, I have a system. So I got by author over there with the spiritual books. I got them Bible commentaries. I got them by book. Then I also have, if you look here, these are crates. Those are those annoying, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say annoying, but those are like the annoying spineless paperback books that you get. And I say annoying because if you're like me, you like to put things in a bookshelf. And if it's a book, it doesn't have a spine, well, I can't read it, right? I don't know what I'm looking at. So now I've got to go through all these books, and to make matters worse, it's a beautiful book, a wonderful book that has wonderful content in it, and I don't know what it is. So what I did, I took crates and I alphabetized it by last name, and I would put the title. Every book has a folder, and I would write the folder, write the title of the book with the author, and it's alphabetized by author. And I got it, in fact, yes, I got it by author, and I got it in hanging folders. So that way, if I want to reference an author, just like I do over here in this other bookshelf, I can go to that. So there's a system there. And then last, certainly not least, the most important books in all my library, and that's my Bibles. Now, Bibles. So I'm going to show you a couple Bibles that I would recommend having. So let me show you a couple Bibles that I would recommend having. So the first one, of course, is a Scofield, the old Scofield study system. I would highly recommend getting this Bible. Scofield is a wonderful study system. It has the words that they have a letter, and it gives you a reference. It also has at the bottom, it has footnotes. It's very in depth. You can use this. The old Scofield study system is excellent. Another one I would recommend having would be the Allen Bible. I have a wide margin. This one is one of my favorites. So this is my Allen that my wife got me, my kids got me. It is the Allen and Son Publishers, and it's a wide margin Bible. It's got a study system in it, a reference system, and it's wide margin so you can write notes. A lot of my sermon notes, there's a lot of white there that I got a lot of space. So it's lambskin and it lays flat. If I set it down, it's easy to teach out of. The next one I would recommend, I got two more I want to show you. So the first one would be the Cambridge Bible. So this is a small Bible. This is like a 5x8. This will fit. This Bible will fit right in your pocket. It's like I'm modeling for you here. Yep, fit right in your pocket. It's perfect for taking for church. It also lays pretty flat. It's goat skin too. It's a beautiful Bible. Got great pages. It also has a good reference system as well. So it's got a great concordance in the back. It also has maps. It's got a map index and all that stuff. Very good. Great Bible to have. I love it. The font's pretty small, but this is one to take with you. Like if you go visiting, it's good. If you're a minister and you're not preaching, this is a good one to take to like carry your journal with, because I feel like when I carry my Allen around, it's like carrying a suitcase sometimes. That's a good one to study with, Now this is my most recent purchase, and I don't know what I've done without it. This is a wonderful, wonderful Bible. So this is a calf skin. It's very, very soft. This is from Church Publishers. And it is called, let me make sure I don't want to say the wrong thing, it is the Paragraph Bible. So this Bible does not show the verses. So if you're like me and you just like to read, I will recommend this Bible, because you open it up. My friend Brady told me about this, and you open it up. Now it will reference the chapter. It'll tell you, like Numbers 10. And it'll have like a little icon, like a little leaf, and a new paragraph where verse 11 starts. But it's just like reading a book. You are reading a book, but just so you know, before you call me like a heretic or something for reading this, the Bible did not originally have the verses, the chapters and verses in there. Those were added in. So you're reading. You're reading God's letter, and I did not realize how much the chapters and verses, especially the verses, distracted me. So when I do my daily reading now, I use this Bible, and I'm reading. I'm going through Judges right now, so it's like I'm going through Judges now, so it's I pick it up, I open it up, I start reading, and hold on, buddy. I start reading, and it's just like reading a book. Okay, so I would definitely recommend this. It's from Church Publishers. This is it. I hope you got something out of this. If you want any tips on how to start a library, I will be more than happy to help you. It's nice having a place to come and spend time on. Also, I have a little closet in here. Is my prayer closet. It's where I go and spend time with God. But a lot of times I'll just sit here at this desk. I'll journal. And I'll write down my thoughts, and then I'll pick up a good book. Spend time with God. Thank you, son. So anyway, I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope that, you can start a library. If you got any questions, just email me, preachtheword87@outlook.com. If you're on YouTube, write in the comments. I'll respond to you. Just write in the comments if you got any questions. If you're starting a library. If you're reading a book and you want to know what I think about it, I'm on Goodreads. I read a lot of books. If you're going to be a minister, you need to read a lot of books. And I love fiction books, especially that have a Christian message in them, because you can get a lot out of those. And that's what the Bible is. It's a story. It's not fiction. Praise God. It really happened, but it's a beautiful story. So anyway, may the Lord bless you. I hope this will help you. All right. Take care.